Now, don't worry. I'm going to do my best to be oh so nice. Like, you've never known me to be this nice. And we're going to stick to the topic at hand. We're not going to go into how some people, among others, have made the meta that we all know and use, and a lot of people love or hate, blah de blah de blah, but we all know of it, and have had a direct hand in how we run raids, legendary missions, general team compositions, and then there's KVD. We're also not going to go into how some people completed the very first duo Iron Horse, or even the very first solo Iron Horse. And then there's KVD. We're going to simply stick to the topic of the monstrosity that I posted like 12 hours ago. Now for me this is damn near viral, and I'm actually quite proud of this. 1.7 thousand views in like 12 hours. Thank you very much, guys. I'm aware that's not like a huge deal among like the grand scheme of YouTube, but for me that is bloody phenomenal. And if you don't know, in this video I basically highlighted that I took a total of 83 tries to complete a legendary, simply due to the fact of what people are running. There were like 5-piece Badger Tough and an Imperial Dynasty, varying other things, 3-piece Brazos, which does fuck and all. And then I also mentioned, I didn't take a screenshot of it, there was one person running 3-piece Araldi, 2-piece Walker Harris, Contractors and Capacitor with Glass Cannon and Vigilance. And I was like, seriously, this is dumb. Like, okay, yeah, you're bragging about your 30% armor, but, well, 30% damage to armor, but what if the target doesn't have armor? What are you going to do? And I rather hilariously put up a spreadsheet that said fuck all times 30% DTA equals fuck all. And within minutes, I had people going, yeah, that's a KVD build. Like, genuinely, it's a KVD build. We're not taking the piss. This is a legit KVD build. So I went and did some digging. Lo and behold, here it is. I mean, this isn't the exact one that they were running. They were running all reds. Like I said, with Glass Cannon and Vigilance. But this is what they were running, essentially. Now, despite the fact that I am going to take a massive dump over this build, I'm going to try and do it in an educational manner for any KVD fans or even KVD himself that are watching, and I'm going to explain to you why this is bad. And it quite simply is you've overstacked into one stat. Great, you've got 30% damage to armor. Chungers don't have armor, they have armor plating. This is not subject to damage to armor. I'd also like to draw your attention again to the title, because this really intrigued me. Simply just because 4 months prior to this, we have this lovely monstrosity, which is the exact same build. The only difference being is rather than running Capacity, you're now running Dark Winter with damage to armor on. And rather than running a Walker Chest with Unbreakable, you're now running it with Spotter. The funny part is, this is the better build, and by like 11%. Here you are, side by side. They're the exact same armor pieces, the exact same rolls, 4 months apart. The only difference is 1, the weapon, and 2, rather than running Unbreakable, you're running Spotter. One of these things just doesn't belong here. So, I went away and found all the stats for the build that you had in your capacitor video, and I did what I do best. I turn it into a spreadsheet. Thankfully, I've got to give you credit for the fact that you actually are quite thorough in your videos. You literally do show everything. So I've got your all weapon damage, your spec, your special weapon, your overall base, your DPS, your crit damage, what multipliers you had, your average DPS, as well as the fact that your body crit is going to be 360,528. Now I am missing something, because when I went back and checked your footage, you were doing a lovely round number of 350,527. So congratulations, I've given you a buff of 1 damage. I don't know where it's come from. I kind of rushed this. Yeah, but point is, I'm pretty bloody accurate with the old spreadsheet-a-roonies. So, I then went and engaged ye old brain cells and tried to remember exactly what the guy in my legendary was running, who got very grumpy when I questioned him on running 30% damage to armor. Now, as far as I can recall, this is it. Pieces might not be in the exact same places, minus contractors and capacitors, obvious reasons. But 2-piece Walker Harris, 3-piece Rowdy, weapon damage, crit damage everywhere. Crit chance ended up being like 56%, and critical hit damage is 171. Total weapon damage 25, 30% damage to armor, no detox, 25% amp, headshot damage was 90%. How do I know this? Well, it's quite simple. I can do this magical stuff. Yeah. Admittedly, in terms of damage, this isn't bad. 668,960 on a body crit, and then 891,124 on a headshot crit. It's not bad. There's just one problem. Not every enemy has armor. Just to show the important parts, with this build on armor, you do X amount, as I've just said, but the moment you try and shoot something with health, you drop 16% in your damage. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but your overall DPS drops by 1.3 mil. That is huge. That is why this is a bad build. You have overstacked into one element of the overall stats in the game. And your build suffers for it. And the people copying your build suffer for it. Because the moment they come face to face with a Chunga, they've got nothing. They're not going to do anything. And yes, I did, if you actually go back, I have actually equated in the damage to health in there. Okay, there is a 0.095 in amp 2 on the second spreadsheet that shows. So I have equated in everything, but it's still a 16% damage drop off. However, if you really want to go down this route, I would suggest something along the lines of this. This is Punch Drunk, Cheska, Grupo, 2-piece Walker Harris and Fox's Prayer. This allows you to mitigate the shortcomings where you've got all this damage to armor. If the enemy doesn't have armor, that's fine. I've still got more crit damage and I've got detox. If they're not in cover, I have more crit damage and I have damage to armor. Like, it's a more rounded, more beneficial build, along with the fact that I'm at 60% crit chance, whereas your build was below 50%. I believe it was like 47.5. So yeah, this actually works out better. Now I have done a rather large spreadsheet here comparing the two builds. KVD is his, Dod is mine. Top two, KVD, Dod, are comparing armor, and then the bottom two, KVD, Dod, are comparing health. If you look at the right hand side, it does say armor, armor, health, health, and then there are numbers there in between. I've done a direct comparison of both builds. And don't worry, all you mobile phone users, I've got you covered. Okay, chill. Nice little zoom in. So KVD armor 8.2 mil DPS, Dod armor 8.5 mil DPS. KVD health, he drops 16% damage and drops down to 6.9 mil DPS. With my variant, I only dropped 6%. Still at 8 mil DPS. Would you like to know why? I've said it like 5 times in this video. It's because you're overstacking into a single stat. It's not benefiting you in any way. What if a Chunga comes out? What if a Warhound comes out? I know you do PvP. Other players' shields, health damage. Other players' turrets, health damage. Other players' drones, health damage. Other players' stinger hives, health damage. Like, yeah, I'm trying to be nice with this. It's really not working, so I just want to... But, yeah. Like, the build that you have made, not only is it not the first ever, because you actually made it 4 months ago and did a video on it, which to me is just mind-boggling how you get away with this, but still, the build itself is actually really, really bad. You've overstacked into one stat. What if other players go down and you're the only one left and they're all with shields or there's Chungas? You've not taken into consideration any of the environment around you. You've just slapped things on and gone, oh, 30% damage to armor, that'll be a good title. Like, you are, as much as it pains me to say, the most subscribed to Division 2 content creator on the platform, can you please just think about what it is you're doing? Okay, it's not just end game players that are going to be looking to you, it's going to be new game players. And they're running around in Legendary, as I showed in my previous video, with some daft wafty builds, and they're wondering why they can't even do a simple friggin' mission. Can you please take some responsibility and actually say, you know, like, just put at the beginning of the title, this is a meme build, this is not the best build going. Okay, blah de blah de blah. Like, give like a disclaimer or something, because there are people running around with your builds that are struggling and they don't understand why. And to put it simply, it's because they're using bad builds. If you would like to have a conversation, feel free to add me in Discord or whatever. But in the meantime, have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.